Anybody in? Hi there. Looking for the ranger station.
Right over there, 200 yards.
Oh, fine, thanks. Just want to check with the chief ranger. Want to go up to the bush, get some fishing.
A little late in the year. Well, I hope you get something. Where you go?
Spruce River.
With a canoe?
Yes, I've got a canoe.
I hope you can handle it.
I can handle it. Why?
There's some pretty fast water in Spruce River.
I'm not afraid of fast water. I like it. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Hi, is the ranger station?
Right here.
I want to check in with the chief ranger. Going up to do some fishing on the Spruce River.
Do you know the Spruce River?
Oh, I've heard about it. Sounds good.
It's good and fast. Can you swim?
Pretty well.
Well, I better talk to my brother. He's the guy I want to see. Come on.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Hi, my name's Mitchell. You the chief ranger?
That's right. What can I do for you, Mr. Mitchell?
I want to go into the bush for a week, do a bit of fishing.
Alone or with a party?
Alone, but I'll be okay. I can take care of myself.
I'm sure you can. Where do you plan to go?
Spruce River.
Do you know it?
I've heard about it.
Parts of it are fine. Great fishing. Parts of it are fast and can be dangerous. You'd be using a canoe, of course.
That's right.
You fixed up for a guide?
I don't want a guide. I just want to get away. Relax. Contemplate.
You still need a guide if you don't know that neck of the woods.
Look, I'm a lawyer. I spend most of my life talking at people, having people talk at me. I'm not going into the bush and have somebody yak at me for a week on end.
You happen to know if Joe's free?
I think he is.
Joe Two Rivers is the best guide for a long way around, and if you don't want him to talk, that'll suit him down to the socks.
Look, I'm not taking a guide. Let's be clear on that.
Then you're not going in.
How do you intend to stop me? It's free country.
Where you're going is also a national park. I can refuse you a permit for fishing or shooting. Let's be clear about that, too.
Look, why not take Joe, sir? He won't open his mouth if that's the way you want it. And you won't even hear him moving in the bush. And you'll fix it so you get better fishing.
Okay. Don't seem to have much option.
Fine. You won't regret it. Pete, get on and get Joe, will you?
Yeah, sure.
I'll fix your permit. You want to fish and maybe do a little shooting.
Just fish.
You might get some duck around there now.
Well, not with a .22 rifle. That's all I've got with me. Just like to carry it when I'm in the bush.
Sure. We'll fix a route plan when Joe gets here.
Route plan?
I'd like to have a general idea of where people are going in case of accidents.
Hi, Pete.
You got a week's work, Joe, if you want it.
What kind of work?
Guy wants to do a week's fishing.
Spruce River?
How did you know?
Oh, he stopped here and told me all about it.
He told me, too. And he told George. You know something, Joe? Sure doesn't want to keep it a secret.
No, I guess not. We go talk to him, huh?
Yeah, sure.
What time we had something to eat, eh? far we come from Indian River? About 25 miles?
Around that.
Not much of a walk for a guy like you. How long do you think it'd take you?
Half a day. Why?
Why don't we make a deal? I give you your money for a week. You walk right home and have a week's vacation. Look, I work pretty hard in the city. I'm under the gun all the time, sorting out other people's problems. Now, right now, I just want to get away from everything. And everybody. I don't want to talk to anybody except myself. I think a guy like you might understand.
Sure.
Fine. We in business?
I made a deal with the chief ranger, too.
He's not paying you.
Maybe not. But I'm supposed to take care of you. Make sure you don't come to no harm in his district.
Look, I can take care of myself. I told Keeley that, too.
Maybe.
Anyhow, Keeley doesn't need to know. You just keep out of sight for a week, relax, enjoy yourself.
What do you think it does to me as a guide? If I quit, then something happens to you.
Good gosh, nothing's gonna happen to me. What could happen? I'm not gonna do anything stupid. I'm just here to relax. Maybe I'm not even gonna do any fishing. Maybe I'm just gonna sit beside the Spruce River, watch the water go by.
Okay. Maybe I sit a little way along from you and watch it, too. Just in case you fall in, huh? You, got coffee in that bag?
Smells good. Week in the bush certainly does things for the appetite.
Tomorrow we go back to Indian River, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. That's too bad. I could do with another week up here.
Even with a guide?
Sure. You forget all that. It's an idea I had in my head. Well, I'm glad of your company. I gotta break it up, though. A lot of work piling up in my desk. The longer I stay away, the tougher it's gonna be to catch up.
Maybe you come back sometime.
Certainly will. All the same, I'd like to have got a fish out of that pool.
What pool?
The big one. About 5 miles upriver, above the rapids. You know where the old shack is.
Oh, that part of the river's not good.
Yeah, so you told me. Still, I'd like to have tried.
Well, listen, it's no good fishing from the bank there. Now, these rapids are very fast. Make strong undertow. You take a canoe out in a pool like that, then you get a little bit careless, and you got big trouble.
Okay. You're the boss. Let's hit the Sacred after we've had supper and a cup of coffee. Get an early start in the morning.
Okay. You like to finish this? I'll get some water for coffee. Mr. Mitchell, you there?
Okay. Your husband was due to come out of the bush a couple of days ago. That agrees with what he told me. But isn't it a little early to get alarmed about him?
No, I'm sure that something's happened to him. I know that he meant to be back home before now.
He could be there now. You could have missed him on the drive up.
No, he was going to call me from here.
You know what I think? The fishing was better than he expected. He's taken an extra couple of days.
He hasn't. I know he hasn't. He had an important meeting.
In the city.
Yes.
Have you heard from Joe yet, Pete?
Nope.
Mrs. Mitchell, your husband's got a guide with him. Joe Two Rivers. He's the best guide in this district. You'd have to go a long way to find a better one.
But that doesn't mean that nothing's happened. There could have been an accident.
Joe knows his way around. He'll take risks on his own account, but not with somebody else. And there's another thing. For some reason we may not know of, they may have decided to come out by a different route. They were going up here on the Spruce River. They could have cut out through the bush on this old logging road and come out 70 miles from Indian River.
Well, that's a couple of hours run from here, not a couple of days. Besides, it's not in the route plan.
Maybe not, but...
Joe wouldn't have allowed it.
Look, Mr. Keeley, I know that something's happened to him. I know it. Isn't there anything you can do?
Pete and I can follow his route plan and pick you up if we find anything. Come on, Pete.
This fire's a week old anyhow.
Well, they didn't come back this way.
Or get this far on the way back.
What keeps you so cheerful, Pete? Come on, let's keep moving.
No tea stick. I'd say there's been nobody around here for a couple of days, maybe more.
Pete, do you know what this means?
Sure do. It's the kind of sign Joe makes when he means follow up fast.
Right. Let's pick up Mrs. Mitchell and do just that.
Hey, you know what?
You tell me.
Tire tracks. And Joe's moccasins on top of them. I've got a kind of hunch they parted company around here.
Get in and let's go.
I guess you got lost.
You?
I've been trying to find you for days. Well, you were sure sneaking around. I guess nobody told you north isn't where it's supposed to be.
I'm okay. I just gone someplace.
Well, that's fine. I just thought maybe you like to walk around in circles. You come back with me and get some grub, huh?
No, you just leave me alone.
I'll tell you something. You don't know about this country. 2 more days like this. Not enough to eat, night's pretty cold. I think you could die.
I won't die. I'm just going someplace.
You won't go far. Easy enough to find you again. So I get help. I hope we get back in time.
No, you can't go. I won't let you.
You want to come with me?
I told you. No.
End of the line. They can't have gone far.
Joe! Pete, here!
Cold as charity. Only one. Like you said, they parted company. Feel better?
Yeah.
We don't know what's happened yet. There's no reason to think it's as bad as it looks.
He's dead, I'm certain of that.
I don't think so.
But the canoe, can't you see what happened?
Joe would never let him go out in the canoe in that part of the river.
I believe that guy deserted him.
Joe wouldn't.
Well, Joe didn't. It's the other way round. Joe's moccasin tracks were on top of the tire tracks. Joe was following. What I'd like to know is what's happened to him.
Meaning what?
Well, Joe's been here, but he came later, after Mr. Mitchell got here and started to make breakfast. And I think Mr. Mitchell beat it into the bush.
Why do you think that?
No rifle. He'd take that with him into the bush.
Makes sense.
If anyone's dead, I think it's Joe, and not by an accident.
No, it wouldn't have been worth that.
What wouldn't? Pete's talking about murder, you know that? Tell me something, Mrs. Mitchell. Why was your husband so anxious to come up into the bush by himself? I'll tell you something. We're going to stay right here until I know what's back of all this. A good friend of mine may be dead, and I want to know why.
Hey, George, suppose that canoe was fixed to make it look like an accident. As though he'd gone out to cast a fly for 10 minutes while the breakfast cooked. No witnesses to say he hasn't drowned until Joe turns up.
Insurance. Wouldn't be the first time it's been tried. And Joe? If this is true, if your husband was in trouble, he could be in much worse trouble if we don't find Joe. Well, is it true?
Yes,
Better tell me about it.
he borrowed from a trust fund. He borrowed too much and could never have paid it back. It isn't known yet, but it'll come out quite soon.
So he had life insurance and planned an accident. How are you going to work it? Were you going to pick him up somewhere?
Yes, on the old logging road. It's only 15 miles through the bush.
What went wrong? Why didn't you meet him?
I went there, but he never came.
So you panicked. I'll tell you what's happened to him. He's got himself lost back there in the bush. It's easy enough even at 15 miles.
We better go and find him.
Sure. I don't give a tinker's cuss about him. But we've got to know what's happened to Joe. Come on. No. You stay here. Think about it.
Joe,
Oh, are we glad to see you?
did he get you? I think I got a little bullet in my leg. But a .22 doesn't do much damage.
We'll get him for this all the same.
Why?
Why not?
Well, I think this guy's got plenty of trouble without anything more.
He sure has, but he's not going to get away with going around shooting people.
Didn't you give him a permit to shoot game?
Sure, but
Okay. It didn't say he wasn't allowed to miss, did it? Just a little bit of bad luck.
miss what?
Rabbit.
You didn't tell me about a rabbit.
I just remembered it.
Okay, I'd better go and find him.
I'll go with you, George.
No, you stay here with Joe.
Don't worry, you won't be far. You won't give trouble. It's pretty far gone.
Here, I'll help you with this, Joe.
It's okay. This knife's pretty sharp. I don't want to get hurt.
Did you see the rabbit, Joe?
I was looking the other way.
I guessed that.
Sometimes a guy gets into a pretty bad mess. But if things work for him a little, he can still make something good out of life. But if he gets pushed just a little bit further, he goes down.
So, there was a rabbit.
That's right. I think we leave this little guy where he is until we get home, huh?
I owe you an apology, Mr.
Joe.
Joe.
Oh, for this? Don't worry. This sort of thing happens.
No, not for this. For something much worse, I think. I thought you deserted my husband, left him alone, perhaps to die.
I wouldn't do that. I don't like too many of my people to die in the bush. It's bad for my business.
I don't think business has much to do with the way you handle your job. I didn't understand that. I'm beginning to.
Okay, we forget about it, huh?
What are you going to do about me, Joe? It's up to you.
I don't understand. What are you trying to say?
Do I go back home, face up to things? Start getting things straightened out? Or am I going to be arrested?
Arrested? Because you're a lousy shot?
There was no rabbit. I know that.
I was there and you weren't. They're going to believe you or me.
All right, Joe?
Oh, it came out easy. I didn't even feel it. It was quite near the surface.
Maybe I should take that, Joe. I told Sergeant Scott you might want to see him, Joe.
Me? What do I want to see him for?
All right. I'll tell him to forget it. Check in at my office before you go, Mr. Mitchell. Have a nice trip back, Mrs. Mitchell.
Thank you. I believe we will.
The evidence?
Maybe we just call it a little souvenir of a hunting trip, huh?
Thanks, Joe.